What is red kratom? Well, first, let's establish what we're asking. Are you asking what is red vein kratom? Or are you asking what is the reddish colored kratom? Because that's two different things. But in this industry, we really haven't divided those two different things, and we just market it all the same. Why? Because nobody cares. The people that sell you your product are liars. They do not really care about what you really understand, and everything marketed to you has been marketed by someone that's trying to capitalize on something called search engine optimization, or SEO. So the information that you've read on the website that you're buying your product from is most likely written by somebody that's a web designer, or somebody that has no idea about kratom or has any on-the-ground experience with it. Unfortunately, this is the case. Or you've learned a lot of stuff from forums. And in most of those forums, they have a lot of folks that just pretend to know a lot of things. Granted, they probably tried 2 or 3 vendors and have had 10 different strains. I mean, this is just something off the top of my head, but they might have had 10 different strains from 2 or 3 vendors. But little do they know that those vendors only have really 1 or 2 sources. So they've probably only tried 5 or 6 different types of kratom. And in those 5 or 6 different types of kratom, maybe they've gotten a certain variation of the leaf that, most people don't, or most people wouldn't get on average if they just got it, if they was a consumer and bought something 100 times. What I'm saying is, in forums, you really have to watch out. No, I'm not the authority on all information, but I will tell you, I will try my hardest to give my honest opinion. So what is red kratom? Well, red vein kratom has a red vein. Those red veins are made from variables in their environment. So a lot of people that I know that are growing kratom say that weather affects the vein colors. Okay, so a vein can quite possibly be whitish green, and then a weather pattern will hit, and now it's a red vein kratom. What does this mean for you? Well, it doesn't mean much, okay, because the veins really don't matter. So is red kratom the red vein? And is that why the color is red of the kratom? Well, no. If the color of the kratom is red, you have a completely different kratom. Most likely, you have a bunch of random leaves thrown in a pile and dried differently. They cure it to get that red color. That color is actually coming from a fermentation process that takes place in a closed confinement. So what happens, most of those harvesters, they'll harvest the leaf and then they'll put it inside of a bag for 2 to 3, maybe 4 days. Then they will take it out of that bag and they will cure it. That curing process and the drying process then colors the leaf red. Any leaf, even if it was a red vein, wouldn't be red in color. 90% of the leaf is green. So do the math. People all of a sudden assume as well it's red because the vein is red. Well, you're really not thinking that one out because it's only a little part of the vein. And in some premium products, people actually destem, or they call it in Indonesia, debone the leaf. They take the stem out. How would it be red then? Well, it's because it's colored red. And the only reason why it's been colored is to differentiate the kratom, because they wanted to market it differently. Hence, the different colors, green, white, red. All of these shades and colors are all based on marketing. They had a problem when they were first started selling the product, and this is way back, this is maybe 10, 20 years, is when they were started making these things up, because it originated from these people that just sell the product. They didn't have any clue about science. They didn't have any clue about anybody else's product. They just knew local ways on how to market and sell the product. Some people call red vein kratom red kratom. They call it because of the vein. They specifically ask their harvesters, get the red veins. Some people just ask for red kratom. Some people have no idea and just accept whatever the harvester or supplier says. This is the case. Most times, most suppliers, especially, you're talking, I would say about 99% of all stores or online markets or anywhere you can get kratom has really no clue about the leaf itself. They really don't know, nor do they care. They've either become part of the business to sustain their own habits, or they just wanted to make a quick buck. Very few people are in it for the passion. Okay, now just think about this. If colors don't matter, what really is happening? Well, some pundits and experts believe that the placebo effect actually helps more than the colors. Now, we'll get into that into another video, but for what I'm saying in short, what is red kratom? Well, red kratom, red vein kratom, is different. Red kratom is colored by the drying process. Red vein kratom is kratom that came from a red vein leaf. Do they differ in effects? Absolutely not. They don't. Sometimes they might, because all kratom can differ in effects. But we've come to think that red does this, green does that, white does that. It does not. It's all different. It can all be the same. It can all be different. Your body actually tells you what is going to happen. Some people have a quick, energized reaction. Some people have a slow, tired. Some people have in the middle. This has more or less evolved the market, because we just automatically assume and believe what is red. But most experts, most people that have been around and tried and used kratom for a really long time will tell you sometimes, most times, those labels, they just don't matter. So the thing that you need to do is find a reputable vendor that cares about his product, that has passion. Don't go for the lowest price. Don't go for the best marketing. Go for somebody that you know has passion. Go for somebody that you know that you can say, hey, I have this, and they'll listen to you. A vendor's not supposed to tell you or prescribe anything to you. That's a doctor's job. What a good vendor will listen to you. They won't say anything, and they'll just give you a product and say, you know what, I got you. Don't worry. You tell me everything that is wrong, I'll listen. I have no idea. I'm not a doctor, but what I can do is pick a product out for you. I'm not saying it's going to cure anything. I'm not saying it's going to fix you, but a good vendor might just listen. But the larger vendors out there can't, because the volume is too big, and they've treated this product like it was an Amazon purchase. This is not something that should happen. Can you get alcohol or cigarettes with one click? Some people believe that it should be like that because freedom, right? Those same people that are saying freedom are also signing off on things like the Kratom Consumer Protection Act, which limits the freedom of sales of kratom. In Utah, you could not sell your friend any kratom. You are under criminal prosecution if you do. It's against the law now. The only people allowed to sell kratom in Utah is the people licensed by the Department of Agriculture. And they can do whatever they want, whenever they want to, because all of the power has been signed over to them. So what is red kratom? Long story, obviously, it's been a little longer. Long story short, it's whatever people want to throw in the bag. But for you and me, scientifically, it's red kratom is reddish by drying. Red vein kratom is red vein kratom. So, until the next time, we'll see you again.